promising on that bright and windy day when Jay and I walked down the bank to fish it. The sun played on the rushing water and gave it a hard metallic sheen. The fish most likely were down in the depths to avoid eye strain. I set up my rod, waded out a few steps toward the long rapid on the near side of the hole, and shook out some line. Then I flipped a cast toward the top of the rapid in a pocket where it broke over the reef. There I hooked the biggest rainbow I've ever seen on the Blackfoot. I carefully measured and weighed the fish in my mind, over 24 inches, more than 6 pounds. Jay watched as the trout broached. "It's like a salmon!" he shouted. He put down his rod and reached for his long-handled net. This rainbow was big and strong, and he fought his battle in heavy water where he used the strength of the river to magnify his own. The line went taut to the reel, an old-style Ross Gunnison G2, which spun as the fish plunged and thrashed down the long rapid. The rod was a new one, a made-in-Montana R.L. Winston 9-foot 5-weight boron 3X, and I'd already lost fish adjusting to the famed soft-action tip. The outfit was well suited to normal conditions, but this rainbow was exceptional from the moment of the rolling take. I followed along and kept the rod tip up and the pressure on, not hard but firm. When I was young, I lost a lot of big fish by not trusting the tackle, or myself, and holding on too hard, giving the fish a firm brace to shake off the hook. I could not lose this trout that way, I told myself. I'd spent too many decades pursuing this moment. The past haunted the present. In such a contest, seconds and minutes expand into timeless, defining moments. A long battle is exhilarating for a fisherman, but can be exhausting or even fatal for a fish, and a responsible sportsman tries to bring it to hand and release it without delay. The fish, however, gets a say in this. Jay waded out with the net and prepared for the capture, except the rainbow glimpsed the net and didn't like what he saw. He broached and twisted as the current inched him downriver toward the net. Jay swooped up the net, but the trout was too big for it and sprawled half in, half out. He escaped back into the water, and we had to start the process all over. Jay tried again with the net and failed once more. I began yelling at my friend because I couldn't understand why he didn't just net the fish and finish the thing. In a rush of anxiety, I tightened up on the line, the same overreaction that had cost me battles when I was a kid. I was about to lose the fish of a lifetime. Chapter 1. 2 Worlds, 1 Cabin. Many go through life without glimpsing heaven and hell, but fishing with my father gave me an early appreciation of both places. Hell was when I lost a big fish in front of him. "What did I bring you here for? How could you have muffed him? You muffed him!" When I hooked a big fish, however, he became so enthusiastic that on occasion he joined the fight. When I was barely in my teens, my dad and I went fishing on the Swan River, a favored alternative to the Blackfoot. The Swan is smaller water, but it can surprise you. On this trip, I tied into a rainbow of about 1.5 pounds, a real monster for the Swan. The trout put up an enormous battle, and my father, to make sure I didn't mess up my big chance, waded into the water below the fish and began to shoo him up to me, splashing the water and damn near touching the fish. The last thing you want is for a fighting fish to touch or be touched by something solid to give it the leverage required to slip the fly. Despite the help, I landed the fish. When the rainbow at last flopped onto the bank, my father's face filled with a kind of rapture, and he knelt down, picked up the trout, and held it up, beaming the way God must smile on those entering heaven. My father taught me to love fishing, but he did not teach me how to fish. If you wonder at that, consider this story by a dear friend of his, a distinguished literary critic from the University of Chicago, Wayne Booth. When Wayne and his wife Phyllis once visited Seeley Lake, my father took them to the lake shore for a lesson in how to fish with a fly rod. We spent the whole day casting and casting, with his precise instructions about just which position of the clock our elbows and shoulders and heads should be in.